See, for every designer, sometimes copying is a form of flattery,
Correct.
but not always. Because if there is a cheap copy available in the market, somewhere it eats out your hard work.
Right.
How do you look at this thing entirely?
So I actually think if someone is copying you, firstly, you should take it as a compliment. People like your design, they love your design, they want to be you, you know. They can't be original, so they're copying what you do.
Like you go through these ups and downs, but like I said, it's like how you come back stronger. Even with clients, like taking two aspects of two things and bringing them together to create something new. So what I mean by that is like we take like say something that's contemporary and something that's Indian and fuse it together to create something new. That's one concept we've used. Over time, like if we took negative feedback of a client, they would come in and they would say, I really don't like what you've made. Now, how do you deal with that? That does happen sometimes, right? Also, you should be having better communication with the client to make sure that doesn't happen.
In the end, we've been around 14 years now. We constantly have challenges coming our way, be it production issues, be it just stress from just too much work overload, or be it something to do with the client. There's always something or the other that is going to stress you out in anything you do. It's not just fashion related.
And you see this sudden jump in the trend, and everyone suddenly wants to, wear similar kind of clothes, similar kind of designs. But of course, those designs are of some other league.
So I feel you need to know firstly what's in vogue, what's in fashion. You have to be relevant, do your market research. People come in tomorrow with a picture of, say, a celebrity wearing something and say, I want to wear this for my wedding. Happens all the time. Now, at the same time, you have to make sure client is also happy. Now, obviously, we don't do copies, but we try and see what about it does the client like. Is it the length? Is it the color? We try and kind of use that as a communication tool. A lot of times they come in with something that's so outdated that I have to tell them that, hey, I know better, that this is not in trend right now. You cannot look outdated as a groom, or you cannot look outdated as your son's wedding.
Hi guys, this is Pallavi Mukherjee. I am founder and CEO of Pop Diaries, and today we are in conversation with two most key people from the fashion industry. When we say fashion, we think of glam and glitz, but do we think about the hard work, the amount of tenacity that goes behind that glam and glitz? Well, we are in conversation with one of the key names in the industry, that's Bubber Couture founders Achal and Sanjana.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for agreeing to be part of this because I'm so fond. First of all, I have to say kudos to you both because it's very easy to, make clothes for yourself, make yourself look good. But you guys are doing that for someone else.
Correct.
I mean, that is where the selflessness starts.
Right.
I just want to understand when did that itch come into you? Because it's not easy, like when you think of fashion, I've seen so many people think of themselves first because, oh, I like fashion, so I'll do this for me, I'll go buy this outfit for me, I'll style myself. But to think of others in the service, like how did that itch come? How did you guys start off on the journey? If you can just briefly tell us.
So growing up, firstly, we are identical twins. We're quite similar with our thinking.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be artists growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow we chose fashion as a canvas. We did a very short course in fashion, and that's when we realized this is interesting. So we actually did a 3-year fashion design and manufacturing course at SNDT. Back then it was a fabulous, college, still is actually. And 3 years into that, a couple of internships. We worked with a reputed menswear designer. And post that, we actually, felt, having observing the industry, that we felt that there was a big gap for minimal menswear. And we felt that we really wanted to, fill that gap in. And that's when we realized we had a discussion, and we decided, why not start our own brand. And we decided, obviously, to be partners because that was pretty obvious. Being together, we've had our schooling together, college, everything together, including our work experience. Yeah, so that's when we decided, okay, let's try our own brand.
Yeah, and I think when we started, we wanted to do something that kind of, because we're twins, we wanted to create something that we could do together. So it's like two of us coming together to create something together, which is, I think, beautiful on its own, right? When you think about it. So we wanted to take duality That's one of our key concepts here at Bubber Couture. So we took that on and we said, let's make something subtle, simple, affordable, and we just started off right after that.
Yeah.
The concept of duality.
Yes.
I mean, I want to understand like how does this work in the fashion sense? Can you just explain a bit
Sure.
more about that?
Sure. So basically, duality. Sanjana and I, even though we're so similar, we're also very different people. We do have different aesthetics, but at the same time, we're the same people, right? It's difficult to kind of explain that to someone who doesn't know us. But basically, if we started making bundis, right? And we realized that our bundis could basically have like two sides. Let's make them reversible, like us. So we have one side which is like printed, and basically we do these bespoke prints. All our prints, we design them in-house and we get them manufactured at my dad's factory in Dombivli. Okay, so we actually have like this really customized bespoke print on one side, and the other side is very classic, structured and slick, right? So you've got two sides, right? It's like two sides of the same coin,
Wow.
right? Which is kind of like us. So that's one aspect. Also, one aspect that we've been using from day one was taking two aspects of two things and bringing them together to create something new. So what I mean by that is like we take like say something that's contemporary and something that's Indian and fuse it together to create something new. That's one concept we've used. In one of our new collections coming up, we're trying to see how we can take fluidity and structure, take it together to make something, which is actually, if you think of it, very difficult to do, but we try and find our way. We have our convertible bangalas, which also have got three different, you can wear it in three different ways. So we've tried to give like dual purpose to a lot of things, and you'll see that in our aspect in a lot of our clothing.
Wow, I mean, I
Yeah.
think this is your USP also somewhere because I have not seen this happening anywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is so you coded, both of you coded into
Yeah.
your label. I mean, kudos again.
Thank you.
The
Thank
respect
you.
just goes higher.
Thank you
But
so
yeah,
much.
can you tell me like, see, for every designer, sometimes copying is a form of flattery,
Correct.
but not always. Because if there is a cheap copy available in the market, somewhere it eats out your hard work.
Right.
How do you look at this entire thing? Because if you see even the bigger brands like Sabyasachi or Manish Malhotra, they always have a cheap copy somewhere in
Of
some
course.
gully or even in the street shops.
Of course.
How do you guys look at this entire thing? What's your opinion on this?
So I actually think if someone is copying you, firstly you should take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the nicest thing to know someone's copying you, but you got to take it as a compliment that people like your design, they love your design, they want to be you. You know,
Right.
they can't be original, so they're copying what you do.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Also, we have to be a little realistic and realize that not everyone can afford designer wear. You know, coming from India, there are people who want, you know, something that looks highly fashionable but may not be able to afford it. You know, so if you do see a cheap copy of something you've done, I do feel it's a complete compliment, sorry. But at the same time, I feel designers have to also draw the line. I do sometimes see designers copying another designer. I mean, it's just so similar.
Yeah.
Where I feel designers need to make sure whatever you make today is drastically different from what's in the industry.
Yeah.
And if you unintentionally copy someone, I feel it's your job as a designer to do market research, to know what is out there, to make sure that your product line is different. You know, so it doesn't, you know, the thing is with Instagram, we all are scrolling all day. We all are being exposed to similar inspirations and the feed, right? So you sometimes unintentionally just get inspired by something which could, like, for example, I came up with a theme for a collection around the time of COVID. And I remember we decided that year not to do a collection because we felt, you know what, the market's not moving, you know, weddings happening, we had a lockdown going on. And a designer actually launched a collection who's a competitor to us, the same theme. So I figured maybe we're just exposed to similar, you know, similar inspirations on Instagram, and you do get unintentionally, you know, inspired.
I also feel it's like if that happens, it has happened. It is frustrating, but I feel then that kind of initially it is frustration, and then that frustration kind of you calm down and you're like, you know what, I can do better than this. And then if you try and convert that energy, that negative energy into positive energy, which is something I always try and do, is you come back bigger and stronger, and you come back with something even bigger and stronger than what you did earlier. That person who copied you can't do that. So I guess that is very important.
I also feel if you like, I remember telling myself that if my garment is so easily copied, maybe that's not a good thing. We should at craft and techniques we should be so elaborate, so like sophisticated that it's very hard to copy. Or if someone copies it, it's a terrible copy.
So we've had someone copy our reversible bandi, okay, and like say came into the store, said that I want pictures to show my relative, and then I didn't know, started a brand and kind of started doing that. But then when we approached this person, they said, but my bandi has 3 things different than yours. I said, so I took it to myself and I'm like, you know what, that means he studied my product. He studied something I've created, right? And the reversible bandi we came up with, there are these other designers who do it, but we did it our own way where we didn't study anybody's product. We said, this is how we are going to come up with the reversible, creating duality in mind. And we're like, you know what, now we're going to elevate it. We're going to make it in such a way. So now we do it in these customized prints, which you can't find anywhere in the market. It's a customized Bubber Couture print, which is printed by us. So we've elevated and taken it to a level where it's becoming even more difficult to copy our products. And yeah, that's all we can do. We just do our best and keep moving.
That's amazing because many people don't have that kind of approach when it comes to dealing with someone copying your work. I mean, it's always angst. Sometimes it's a bit of insecurity, and they start reacting to such situations. But in our profession, like what happens is we create something, like maybe a piece of content, and if some bigger content creator takes that and claims it to be there, because it's more believable that big content creator came up with the original idea. Has that ever happened with you? Some big designers have taken very direct inspiration from you guys and portrayed it as theirs?
So honestly, it's not happened, but we make sure that when we are even being inspired for a collection, right? I actually say this to all our interns who join us. I say, tomorrow you come out of college, you're doing a collection, and if you want to do a collection inspired by, say, a Maharaja, 110 people in the world have thought of that 100 times, But tomorrow, if you come up with something that's unique, no one is going to be able to copy that same thought. For example, what we do is we take multiple inspirations and combine them together to create something that's so offbeat that no one could have thought of that before. So you can give a couple of examples.
Like an example from our Azuro collection, we did this elephant. Okay, so basically we wanted to do an elephant, and we always all of our collections have one Indian aspect in it. So we may not be using that textile, but we use it as an inspiration for maybe even print. So we took patola as an inspiration, right? So we took patola and we said, okay, if we're going to do an elephant, I'm sure every designer at some point has done the elephant. It's such a nice motif to use for festive wear. And we've done an elephant before. But how do we make ours different? So we made it like a patola elephant. Generally, you do see patola elephants, but we did it in a very different manner. So what do we have here? We've got it like a unique patola of our own, right? I can say it's digital, printed by us, it's bespoke, and also it's something that's not been, say, done before. So that's how we create unique couture. We try and kind of mix and fuse different aspects and put them together. That'll give you something unique.
I also feel it depends on, the inspiration that, so a collection is basically you expressing an idea, right? So if your story is very unique, it definitely tells its own tale when it comes to the own, collection, So I think that's something which we always make sure that the theme is very offbeat.
Also the motifs. So like we use a lot of our motifs, like, for us, like a lot of people have asked us, like, say, about feminism, right? They've just randomly asked us about feminism, and I've thought about it, like, how do I voice my feminism, right? And what we kind of do is, see, we are not very vocal. Mostly when you think about feminism, it's someone who's speaking out, talking loud. It's about being loud and heard and, right? Being out there. But Sanjana and me are not people like that, okay? There are a lot of other people who, okay, I'm a feminist, but we're quiet in a way.
Subtle.
So how do we express our feminism? We do it through our clothing, right? So like a lot of these power motifs. So when we talk about power motifs, we've done a Troy collection before. So we did this beautiful blueprint Troy horse. So it looked like a blueprint. So like when you see Troy, it was planned. So you can imagine them drawing out like this entire thing like a blueprint. So we designed this beautiful Troy horse. It was a success. We're still, even though the collection is a few years old, we're still running that because people still want it. right? We don't look at collections as old. For us, it's timeless couture that we keep designing. We have our Sienna horse, which is like, our horse is like, it's a horse like moving forward with one hoof on top, means always moving ever forward. So we try and give messages even through our outfits. We even have the falcon, right?
Yeah.
And the falcon is like, means quiet strength. It means a very, very strong bird, right? So
Yeah.
like a lot of people are wearing our clothing, men, right? We do women's wear as well, but here I'm talking about the men's wear and our prints. And they don't know, like a lot of the motifs that we are is basically they're strength motifs. And it's like two women speaking through the clothing. Yeah.
I totally get that, because I often feel creative people, they have a lot of stories, lot of experiences and emotions that they express through their work.
Correct.
But coming on that very point, I just want to understand, like, every entrepreneur has faced challenges in their life.
Of course.
And when you guys started out, I believe that things might seem all very glam and glitzy right now over here,
Yeah.
but it might not be exactly the same when you guys started out.
Of course.
So, what were your like biggest challenges, and like as a duo, how did you guys combat that and come out of it?
So firstly, everyone thinks the fashion industry is glamorous.
Yeah.
Even if it is glamorous at a fashion show, it's only for a few minutes. No one looks at the chaos that happens behind it. Behind each product that you see, there is so much thought, discussion. We do have a lot of hurdles that come our way. But I have a saying that's what doesn't kill you makes you only stronger. And genuinely, we've been around 14 years now. We constantly have challenges coming our way, be it, managing staff. That's something that's very challenging today. Be it production issues, be it just stress from just too much work overload, or be it something to do with the client. There's always something or the other that is going to stress you out in anything you do. It's not just fashion related, but it's how you kind of approach it. And we've actually realized that we normally just sit down, discuss what is the problem, what is the issue, and we don't kind of let that affect us. We look at, okay, what are the pros and cons? What are the options we have to get out of this? We normally choose, okay, let's go down this path. Okay, we collectively take a team decision and go down, that path. If we feel there, like sometimes you can't help the industry as well. You have off season that hits you. So our work is very, seasonal. So in season, you have work that is super busy, where it's super stressful. I think every season I've probably cried at least once. If not me, I think every member. And in off season, it's the opposite, where you get very demotivated and pulled down. It's just the nature of the industry, where it's raining outside in Bombay. There are no weddings happening at that point. But you have to kind of figure out, okay, what can I do for my business that's going to generate, income even at this time? Okay, this time is stressing me out. What can I do to pivot from what I'm doing to kind of fill this gap that we have? And I feel like you just have to keep exploring things, be creative with it. And I think the main word is pivot. Like, we've had demonetization, come towards us. You had GST hit us, and suddenly no one is spending money for a month. We've had COVID, which was, a stress in itself. We're happy to just have survived as a brand post-COVID. But I feel like at the end of the day, you have to think of, okay, fine. Like during COVID, we were sitting at home in our individual homes, and we decided, okay, we have COVID. Now what? So we spent 2 years. We actually worked almost every day. We spent time rebuilding our website. At that point, our website was not shipping worldwide. Now we are. We spent a lot of time on the website, adding custom features to it, so people could even, order custom features online, not just at the store. Then what we did was we launched another label called Bubber Blue, which is a Pret label, only for online. So that sells festive essentials for men, but more budgeted. So that was our main aim with that. So we launched that as well. So the whole conceptualization, the designing of the logo, all of that was done during COVID. So a lot of times, a lot of people I know during COVID just sat there just stressing. But we actually said, you know what, we have time to actually rethink every aspect of our business. Like, you take a negative and you say, okay, what can I do with this? We redid our labels, we redid our tags. Like, I mean, even my email signature, down to that level. I said, you know what, do I like the signature? I have time to think about it. I have time to redo it. And I think it was amazing because when I look at the brand pre-COVID and post-COVID, it's completely different, you know. And I'm in some way thankful that COVID gave us that time, you know.
Also, I think hardships that we faced, a lot of people don't realize. They feel they just start a brand and then it just runs, right?
Yeah.
You have to constantly pump in money. Okay.
Yeah.
You have ups and downs, and I think for us, the hardest time money-wise was COVID.
Yeah.
Because we had our karigars to pay, and then we didn't have any business coming in, or we were only selling online, but our units were closed.
Yeah, we had
Right?
orders coming in, and we didn't understand how to produce.
So we had to
Yeah.
find and most of my karigars had gone to the village. We kind of encouraged them to go because we said first of all, they were scared of being in the city. So we encouraged them, why don't you go back, because A, they would be safer, and then it would be easier for me as well, right? But what happened is that we started getting orders. We had to find people, so we had the Master Ji sitting in the village giving instructions to somebody else. So logistically it was a mess, but you know what? It all just happened. And with every piece that had to be sent, my son, she had to come in, open the shutter, come in, get the piece out, pack it herself. QC checks were done at home by us.
We normally have a team
You know,
that does
so-
all of this.
Because we kept the unit shut. So we keep telling ourselves we went through that. There's nothing, that you can't do right now, right?
Yeah.
So you go through these ups and downs, but like I said, it's how you come back stronger. Even with clients, over time, if we took negative feedback of a client, they would come in and they would say, I really don't like what you've made. Now, how do you deal with that? That does happen sometimes, right? Also, you should be having better communication with the client to make sure that doesn't happen. So the client understands. We worked on that. Now, we generally, I think, 99.5% we don't have a problem. There'll be that odd client 1 year, once a year there'll be one who'll have an issue.
Some
But you know what?
miscommunication on WhatsApp, or it
It
happens.
happens,
Yeah.
but like I said, we try and then you just learn from that. We won't repeat that mistake again. But also, I think our hardest part is managing people. So, learning how to deal with clients. Even if someone tells you something you made off the rack, you show them something, and someone would say that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And then the next client who comes in will say, this is the best thing you've ever designed, Anchal. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I realized you have to learn how to not take anything personally. You take it as design advice and use that to kind of design better the next time. So if something is too bold, maybe next time let's just be a little safer. So it's just perspective, I feel, at the end of the day, how you take on things, and also you have to take each day at a time and keep moving on.
I also think criticism from clients has gotten us where we are today. If we hadn't taken their criticism, as a strength and said, okay, what can we do with it? We wouldn't make the changes we would, and we wouldn't be where we are today. So I actually feel negatives are actually positives, just disguised. Yeah.
Talking about clients, I am sure you guys have come across all different type of clients, but which has been the most unique and weirdest experience for you guys?
So let's talk about the unique, I think, first. I don't
So-
know about weird. No,
I don't think it's weird. But we can give a couple of examples each. But we have this client he's from London, and he's very interesting. And he always throws, so we specialize in bespoke wear. But what we do is, even if you come in with your own sense of this is what I want, we obviously will give you our version of that, right? Design is left to us entirely. So he comes in and says, I want an outfit inspired by a rickshaw driver. Then he comes in and says, I want an outfit inspired by a school teacher. And for a minute, I had to go
school
back.
teacher, not a school
Indian
teacher.
school
I
teacher.
said, what does an Indian school teacher wear? And this was, by the way,
I had
during
to Google
COVID
it.
on Zoom. I was like, I need to get back to you on that because, he wears a shirt and pant, right?
We had to Google
I'll
Indian
try.
school teacher because I was like, what do you mean Indian school teacher, So he wanted a bunch of outfits that he could just wear to walk down the street of London, just to walk down.
You forgot every outfit had to have an elephant and a
Elephant and
peacock
peacock.
because he said, this is what I came to India, I lived here for a while, and this is I resonate with this. So so with him, he loved India, right? So with each Indian handicraft, I'm like, okay, so with this, we're going to incorporate block printing. Okay, we're going to custom make a block for you in an elephant motif. We got the block customized it for him. So what happens is and he has that block in his living room, as I think a showpiece.
Yeah, he's framed it.
So basically, he was extremely interesting because he challenged us to the level where there were points I didn't know what to do, but I had to kind of work my way to figure out what to do. It was super
Yeah.
interesting.
I think it's these the clients that actually challenge your design aesthetic and your talent. Everyone can design for themselves. Tomorrow, I need to make something. I know what I like, my body type, the color. But when you have someone who comes to you with a crazy idea, and you need to make sure, one, they are happy. Two, you understand a crazy brief like that. And it was great because he was walking around. We made him this little safari. It was like a
It
jumpsuit
was a jumpsuit.
with I think it was an elephant or a peacock here
embroidered,
embroidered,
yeah,
and it was a really cool outfit, and he was super happy.
yeah.
We did like 15 sets,
And
for
each
him,
outfit
different
had to have an
themes.
Indian handicraft or a textile or different embroidery. So we took the Indian, like we took our textiles, we took our Indian heritage and kind of put it in it somewhere. So it was so interesting because it was like, it was challenging us to do something different, and also it had to still also be in the Bubber Couture.
Plus, it was like celebrating India. His whole,
Yeah,
his whole, his
he
whole
let us
set.
celebrate India, and then he went
Yeah.
off with it and went back to London.
Yes.
We had another client who he was, I remember he was probably 65 plus at that point. He had like white hair, long mustache, really, really handsome man from Botswana. And someone brought him in to buy Indian clothes for a wedding here. They bought clothes and they went back. After he bought this beautiful matka sherwani of ours, and we weave our own matka silk. Okay, we have two qualities that we weave. So it's beautiful herringbone matka silk in black. And he buys it pretty classic, okay, no frills. And he next year orders one more. And next year orders one more. And then he made somebody else buy one as well, some other foreigner. So we're asking him, where are you wearing this? You live in Botswana. Where are you wearing these sherwanis? Like, this makes no sense,
Very
right? We want to
Indian.
know.
You know,
And very handsome man. The pictures he sent me, I was just like, my God, like a Irene model, right? And he said, I wear it as a trench coat when I travel to Europe. And I was like, wow, if we can take like, say, our Indian jackets, like a bangala, and like kind of have people in Europe wearing it and embracing like, say, Indian culture. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we would strive for more, but that was another interesting client that we had.
there was also one more, if you don't mind me adding, but we had a collection that was called Nico, inspired by Nikolai Romanov, the last Tsar of Russia. And he was like this guy with, blue eyes and, obviously Russian looking. And we literally had a guy walk in with blue eyes one day. He said, I'm from Russia. He was attending a wedding and he picked up something from our Nico collection. And
that was our first piece.
and I
of the
couldn't believe
collection
it.
to sell.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what just happened? So we have a lot of interesting stuff that happens at Bubber Couture.
We also had one which was we had one collection which was an ode to our heritage, right? And we're Sikh. Our surname before marriage was Bubber. That's why it's called Bubber Couture. And it was a Khalsa sign, but we had taken the Bubber lions in it, right? And created our own kind of Khalsa symbol. But that was the inspiration. And a personal shopper kind of messaged us that, some celebrity wants to wear it at some religious thing, took it, and he ends up wearing it to the Golden Temple. And the next thing we know is it's featured in one of the newspapers. So he's wearing our Khalsa inspired kurta unintentionally, goes to Amritsar. So this is a collection which is an ode to like our ancestors.
And our ancestors are from Amritsar, by the way.
Okay.
Both mom,
It's an
dad
ode
side.
to our ancestors. That's basically what the theme was. Okay. And I mean, so I can go on about it. But basically he goes and like he goes to our temple, which is the Golden Temple. Okay. Which I consider that the most holy place for us, right? In this world. And goes there and wears it. And this is someone, it was that singer, right?
It's a famous singer.
He was a famous singer, and he wore it, and he wasn't even. It was just amazing. Like,
It just happened.
Yeah.
When you guys are saying these stories, I feel that universe is kind of giving you all the signs that.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't. So we have this thing, like say with our Troy horse, right? The Troy collection. We have a bit of like the psychic thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a twin thing.
Okay.
Twin tuition.
Most twins will.
Twin tuition.
Yeah.
Not
Twin
intuition.
I've heard that. Yeah.
It's called a twin tuition, where like I come into work and she didn't show up that day, and I'm telling my assistant that, listen, I've come up with a theme for the new collection. We're doing something inspired by Troy. we learned a lot about it in the English literature in school, and we're going to do this, we're going to have a horse print, and I mean, all these ideas. So she's, furiously writing down like all these ideas, and the next day she comes and she goes and talks to her and says, you know what? I've got the collection. I got the theme of the collection, and she said we're going to do Troy. And she said, did you speak to Anchal?
Yeah.
And she said no. And she's like, oh my god! And then I spoke to her and realized
Connection to the word Troy.
we had not spoken. We had not spoken, and we both thought about the same theme. And we're like, okay. So a lot of times when things happen, we both think of the same idea. Like even with color themes of the like a collection, she was like, I was thinking red, blue, white. I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. I've thought about that with this, this, and this. So it's basically like completing each other's sentences at times. But we're still very different people. Like I still say, I don't know if we're
very different people.
We're very different people.
With what we do, I feel there is a deep connection. For sure.
So, and a lot of times it's a very creepy thing, but we have this thing happening in twos. So we'll have a client who will come in with a very bizarre name, which you have not heard of before. And that same month, you'll have another client like that. Then we won't see this for years. The same, like, suppose a name, like a random name like Himanshu, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just giving you a random example. And another Himanshu will come. And then you won't see a Himanshu for like 2 years come in. And then you'll see that, so we have this pattern of twos.
Yes, a pattern of two that keeps
of the
happening.
same clients coming into the similar names and similar names all the time.
I also feel with our inspirations, as a designer, most people will be like, I don't know, I don't feel inspired. The thing with inspiration is if you're really that quiet and you're open to it, your intuition itself kind of guides you towards, an inspiration. Or even I feel with business, I feel always listen to your instinct. Your instinct, if you really are able to hear that voice, a lot of people can't. If you can, I feel it's a massive gift, because even at times, like a time like COVID, couldn't really understand what to do. But if you just follow that instinct within you, it guides you professionally, it guides you with anything you require. I actually feel that's a great tool to have in business as well.
And I also believe in, I believe in energy. So what happens is that when we have clients coming in who have like good energy vibes, we deal with client vibes all the time. If some client is vibing more towards my aesthetic, I take her on, or she takes it.
Right.
But basically, if we have a client who coming in who has a lot of negative energy, we see that aspect kind of reflecting on the outfit.
Or even in the process, something will go wrong.
A lot of, I think those, and not in our control, like 10 things will go wrong with that order, and I'm just like, why? And I'm like, okay, it was the negative energy of the client, and you have nothing to do with it. You're not kind of channeling that energy. You're trying to bring positivity to it. It somehow just happens every single time. And I've noticed that my team now, I keep bringing it up, and my team is saying this is actually true. Yeah. And it happens the same time with the same people again and again and again.
I absolutely agree, because when you guys were saying so, I also do my business, and I have my sister who is the co-founder. So we are also like two sisters. Correct. And everything that you were saying was like absolute relatable to me, because it just happens. Like sometimes, like she fills in for me, I fill in for her. It must have happened with you guys also.
Correct.
But do you think like being siblings, I mean, of course, in the business it might help, but sometimes, professional differences might come in, because you said you guys are even two different people.
Correct.
So has this new relationship that you developed after work hampered your personal relationship? Has that clash happened, or no, it's like a very coordinated thing, well balanced thing?
So honestly, being a twin and being partners in business is like a marriage.
Yeah.
It's literally like a marriage. I feel like it does at some times get personal, especially when your partner is a family member or a sibling, if not a twin. The other person's weaknesses and strengths. And also I feel like a lot of your personal relationships spill over to your office space, whether you like it or not. You try and draw that line, but I feel like no matter what you do, I'm sure you've heard of this in family businesses too, right? Like no matter how much you try and keep your personal affairs on the side, it does spill over to work. But see, at the same time, there are pros and cons to everything. As much as we may have a clash sometimes, but then also you have the strength that comes in and filling in for each other, which, to be honest with you, it comes with trust with money, trust with design, trust with taking over my clients' orders if I'm traveling, for example. I don't know if I could have that trust in a person who is not her. And I also feel it, even if you are two people in a business, it just depends on your relationship. But for us, somehow we make it work, you know.
I think we can really switch off. So what happens is because we're twins, a lot of our friends are the same. So there are times you may have had a fight in the office or a disagreement, and then you kind of have to meet and like socialize later, and we're fine. Because we're two different. I think you need to kind of separate like who I am at work is very different from who I am at home, and who I am as a mother or who I am as a wife, right?
Yeah.
It's like very, very different aspects, and I think you just kind of have to play that role. It's kind of like being bipolar.
No,
It's
it's
like being have multifaceted, like
many
different,
hats.
different
Yeah.
personalities, right? It's like basically, so it's like switching on and switching off those frequencies to kind of play that role the way you should.
That's
I mean,
how a
that's the way I
relationship
look at
is
it.
actually.
Yeah.
Like it actually has a lot of depth to it because we actually have to be.
It's also quite complicated, I would say, because with twins, it's very overlapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But you know something, it's really interesting because suppose she's left for, she's gone on holiday, like she just went on a honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
She just got married. Her clients would walk in and see when a client meets one of us, they're like, no, but I only want to meet you because you've kind of had that personal connect, you've ordered with this specific person. I completely understand and respect that. And I mean, I walked in and then he looks at me and said, but you told me you're on your honeymoon. And I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm not her, right? So I have to, I enter and I'll be like, hi, I'm not Sanjan. I'm not her. Okay, that's literally what I say. And they're like, what do you mean? So a lot of them don't know I'm her. So it's very, very, when I mean easy to fill in, we have done it before where clients are like, no, I want to meet you only. And she was terribly sick. And I have pretended to be her.
Yeah, she has.
But at the end, I have told them. I always be honest because I mean it's not right.
Yeah.
At the end, I have told them because I speak a different way. They could have noticed that it's wrong technically.
Yeah.
But I always say, oh, by the way, I'm her and I had to fill in for her because she was unwell. And they didn't really realize. Okay, but yeah, so we technically can fill in each other's shoes. I don't think other people
I
can.
can't
do
wear
that,
the
but we
S
can.
though. I can't wear the S. I take it off if I have to pretend to be her.
But I definitely can fill in for sure. No one else can fill in as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you both are sisters, so when you guys started out,
Right.
like, did your family not? I mean, did they support you wholeheartedly, or were they having their own doubts or something?
So we have a brother as well, and we come from a business family where the thinking is, oh, women just get married into business families,
Yeah.
and you know the men work. That was at least the approach when we started off.
Yeah.
What's nice is now we've shifted, you know, the way our family thinks.
Yeah.
Well, I think we spend more hours working than a lot of male members in our family. It's true. It's true.
Wow.
I think that coming to realize we've always had the support of our parents, but they had the impression, okay, you know what, they're girls. We started our business when we were 24, 25 odd. She got married at 26. I've just got married, you know, this year. All this time, my parents would just say, oh, they're just kind of fulfilling a hobby, you know, when they get married, when they have kids, you know, where they're going to have the time to work. But I mean, that's not how it is because she has kids. I'm married today. I love coming to work. I literally wake up and the first thing I'm, you know, running for a shower because I want to be here. The thing is, we love what we do. Our parents have supported it. But I do feel like society and even our families do have that judgment of, you know, oh, how can a woman kind of run a business, you know? But we are challenging that. And I think that's...
But I think they've
super
come around
interesting.
to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was never so strong, the
No.
views, but I mean, that's like, it's just age-old stuff that is just there, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to work out of it. There's no other way. But now it's changed because I have two sons, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So what happens is now it's like my mom's like, you gotta go to work. If my mother-in-law's not in town, so can I fill in and come and take care of your kids? And I'm like, great, please come so I can go to work. Right? So literally it's like that, or if one of them is unwell. It's always family kind of stepping up to help because, I mean, you can't, I mean, you have to be a mother. You have to kind of, you're at home taking care of the home stuff, take care of, my husband travels a lot. So it's generally me around. He's not always here. But the thing is that, I mean, you're filling in so many different roles, it does get difficult. And even I think as a mum, I try and be a very involved parent, even with the kids, with their, you know, with birthday parties, I try and go, but you can't do everything, right? So I try and do a little bit of everything to keep everyone happy, right? And yeah,
I also
that's all
think
you
it's
can
cool
do.
being a mother, then she gets, you know, called in for all the costumes for
Yeah,
all
I
the
get
plays.
called into all the
Yeah.
costumes for the play.
So that only adds
and then
to the work.
they know I'm creative, so then all the creative stuff comes my way, and yeah, so that also is stuff you got to do.
Yeah. But they are proud. I mean, I think that's the main thing, that tomorrow, like we do write a lot of articles for the newspapers, and they are very proud that way. And every time a celebrity is wearing our clothes, or even a friend of theirs comes to us organically and compliments our clothes, or says I came to them and they were great, they are happy. The smile on their face kind of tells us that they're
I
proud.
think there are a lot of clients and even like random people who they meet. My clients will give them, viewpoints of how they love their clothes and how they dealt with me so well. And I think they're definitely proud. But yeah, and I'm glad we got to change that a bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when we talk about fashion and glamour, we cannot help but talk about Bollywood also.
Right.
So fashion is art, I
Right.
believe, and the way you guys have carved your journey, it speaks a lot. The way all your collections are very inspired. But Bollywood has a different set of influence on the people.
Right.
Do you think that it sort of sometimes becomes challenging for you guys, because you guys are thinking on a very other zone, and suddenly this trend comes in which the Bollywood celebs are wearing, maybe in a Ambani wedding or somewhere in the event, and you see this sudden jump in the trend, and everyone suddenly wants to wear similar kind of clothes, similar kind of designs. But of course those designs are of some other label.
Correct.
So for you guys, that might become a big challenge, because you guys cannot really copy that, right?
Correct.
So how do you guys tackle such kind of demands? Because I'm sure you might be getting that a lot.
So I feel you need to know firstly what's in vogue, what's in fashion. You have to be relevant, do your market research. People come in tomorrow with a picture of, say, a celebrity wearing something and say, I want to wear this for my wedding.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, you have to make sure client is also happy. Now, obviously, we don't do copies, right?
Yeah.
But we try and see what about it does the client like. Is it the length? Is it the color? We try and kind of use that as a communication tool.
Okay.
A lot of times they come in with something that's so outdated that I have to tell them that, hey, I know better, that this is not in trend right now, and you cannot look outdated as a groom, or you cannot look outdated as your son's wedding, So I feel you need to really know what's out there. You need to know your craft. If you do know your craft, you can confidently put your viewpoints, to a client and guide them positively or negatively. At the same time, if it's something great that's in vogue, we're happy to take inspiration from a piece. I mean, I don't like doing that, but nowadays it's just become a trend with Pinterest and social media that people tend to do some research when they come in. So we've just started using it as a communicative tool. Okay, this is what he kind of likes. He kind of likes thread work. So we will then showcase our thread work to him, see what he kind of likes, to kind of make sure they are happy as well. Because there is suddenly this onset of, you know what, I want something that this celebrity wore, and I also want it to be me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what we're losing in the industry is you're coming to a designer, you should be coming to them for their design.
Correct.
Right? So that is getting a little bit lost, which, we wish we could control.
So I think we do end up controlling it. So we do figure that everything has to be, say, in the Bubber Couture aesthetic and the way we would do it.
Yeah.
Like, say, if you find like, say, people are wearing like bangalas now, which with the lapels, right? It's basically a trend where it kind of converts, right? So we would do it our own way. Like I'm not going to do it the way I see it in the image, but I would do it exactly my own way. And see, because it's a trend, what happens is we have so much visual stimuli because of Instagram. It kind of is everywhere. But I also feel we also disagree with some trends. So if I feel someone says, look at this, and I'm like, I don't think that looks really nice. That may look good on a celebrity, but I don't think it's going to suit you as a person. It has to suit, it's not about just copying trends. Is that going to suit your complexion, your height, your build?
Yeah.
Also, can you carry it off as a person?
Yeah.
Like, what is your personality like?
Yeah.
It's more about that, and also the person confidently getting out of their house, feeling like, oh my god, I look amazing. I look like $1 million, and I'm so happy. And it's going to that function, enjoying, getting compliments. I mean, that's what it's about. for me, it's not so much about the trend-based stuff. We try and steer away from too much trend-based stuff because at the end of the day, we design timeless couture. So
Yeah.
we want you to rewear your outfit. We want you to rewear it in different ways. Therefore, we do convertible stuff. We have the 2-in-1 and the 3-in-1 stuff. We want you to remove it like say 7 years from now and say, you know what? Like, you know, someone's like, this is old. I'm like, no, it's vintage.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the length is off because earlier people were wearing longer kurtas, but you know what? Bring it back to me. Let's make it more current. Let's reduce the length. Let's bring it back. So I think it's more about that than just solely following trends and understanding more and taking the personality of the person, bringing that out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I also think anarkalis, like Ranveer Singh can carry off an anarkali. I don't think all men can. So I'm very anti that. Like Ranveer, yes, but everyone else probably
Ranveer can
no.
wear anything.
Yeah.
And he look
no,
amazing.
I was coming to this only. Like,
Yeah.
if you could eliminate one fashion trend that
Yeah.
had come and that is, you know, maybe trending right now also, I don't know.
Right.
If you could eliminate that, what that would be?
Anarkalis on men.
I think anarkalis on men. I mean, that's the only one I genuinely just could not handle.
I've never understood
You know,
it.
I
It
just,
just
don't
makes no sense.
understand it.
Shahid Kapoor, I guess, was wearing that and he got massively trolled. So I think I agree on
I
that.
mean, when the actors wear it, I still feel like, okay, a lot of them, they have to be seen, they have to be noticed,
Yeah.
so they have to do something that's different, right?
Right.
And Ranveer Singh is noticed for because he wears very different clothing, right? I mean, that's part of his brand.
Yeah.
That's what he's selling.
Yeah.
Okay. So for a lot of say stars who are say still making their way out, for them too, they try and wear a lot of different things because they want to be noticed and they want to be shot.
Yeah.
They want to be on Instagram. They want to be on those pages that are featured, right?
Yeah.
The Bollywood pages.
Yeah.
So that's a very, they're coming from a different place. So I think Bollywood is like a different space.
Correct.
And I think where we are at, we're a very different space. So if I had to design for, say, Bollywood, you're thinking very different. You're thinking for the ramp, you're thinking different. You're designing for our store, commercial clients to wear at their weddings, you're thinking different. So it's just a different tune, like a different tune that you're on, you know, and you just
Yeah.
have to kind of amp it up based on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So hypothetically, I'm going to give you one situation.
Sure.
So imagine that you guys have to design something for Met Gala,
Right.
and you have to choose one Bollywood celeb. Who
Mhm.
would it be, and how would you guys, you know, like just a general outfit idea, just a very basic layout, sort of like how would you guys style him or her, whatever, whoever you choose.
So if I had to choose someone, I would definitely choose Shah Rukh Khan. I think he is the king of kings of
Of course.
you know, Bollywood. Firstly, he can carry off anything. It's his confidence and his style. You know, I would love to do like a lovely bandhgala for him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nice black, you know, bandhgala. And I would love to do a kurta that actually has a train to it. I know it sounds bizarre, but something that would really have eyes, you know, come his way. And I would love it to be in completely like full of zardozi, Indianized embroidery, because I feel like at the Met Gala you have to celebrate India. You have to have all eyes on India.
Absolutely.
And so something along that lines is what I would do. I don't know about
I
you.
think Ishan Khattar, I think he's so good looking. Okay.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
he's still, I mean, he's just about made it with like the Royals,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think like someone like that who actually is probably making a debut in that kind of area, right? Definitely him. And I would definitely do something with handwork, something with French knots, a lot of thread work, like very, very specifically Indian, like a
Mhm.
textile. Maybe take a patola and kind of highlight it with like, you know, thread work. And like I said, there's something very regal about a bandhgala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she said, but since she's already said bandhgala, I would put him in my like sherwani, like, you know, like a, I would not do a black. You know, it would depend on the theme, right? But I would do like a different color, like maybe like a wine. Or
Right.
like a burgundy, like an aubergine, like that kind of color with some grey pants and kind of have him with like, you know, beautiful grey work.
Wow.
And yeah, maybe like a short sherwani, like a nachkan.
Oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
imagining them right now, and I can just say they are very organized.
Yes.
Absolutely, because I'm single, so my vision is going too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking damn good, and the way you guys described, amazing.
Thank you.
So, on a parting note, I just want
Yeah.
to know from you, both of you, like
Yeah.
if you had to give one advice to all people who are starting out, not just into this particular industry, but just starting out,
Right.
what would that one advice be?
So I would say resilience is everything.
Yes.
As much as people think success grows in like one collection or 6 months. I mean, that's just not how anything operates. Even if you're not from the fashion industry, you have to work your way upwards. You have to learn exactly whatever your craft is. Know exactly what you want to do. If you want to start your own business, I would say start your business when you actually know everything about it. Don't just go into it blind. Try and see if you can get funding, because that's great. We actually started our business with our own money, and it's been a very slow and steady process. That's the way we approach it, because we felt it's less risk. And honestly, it's the best approach, because that's with the kind of industry we have. We'd rather grow steadily than just take risks and at the risk of the brand shutting down, which we obviously wouldn't want. I feel like I approach work and my work ethic and values to it like how we train for the marathon, because we do run marathons. It's like you can't learn to run a 21-kilometer in a day. You got to first hit the 2 kilometer, then the 5, then the 10. One day do a 16. You have to have your breaks in between. You got to do it steadily for you to reach that 21 and to be able to perform well. So that's the way we look at everything. You got to be consistent. At the same time, any negatives come your way, which there will be plenty if you're an entrepreneur. You can't let challenges overwhelm you. In fact, you have to look at challenges like a challenge. And look at, okay, fine, this has come our way, how can we learn from it, and you'll always grow. I feel I thank myself for so many challenges that came my way, because if that challenge hadn't come my way, we wouldn't have, say, started a new line, or keeping that in mind, I feel like and also, for example, don't let failure scare you, because as much as we think if one collection tanks, it's not the end of the world. You got to kind of study it and see why it tanked, extract whatever you can from that that was positive, and then move on, taking that criticism forward. And criticism is, it's negative advice in a great way. I think take it positively.
I also feel like you need a lot of patience. You need to be persistent, show up at work every day, and also be extremely patient, because now I think people are becoming a little more difficult to manage. I feel with every year, right? Especially new teens and you have this new generation, okay? Gen Z, and Gen Z is not willing to kind of work very hard. So what's happening is that
Not always.
There are exceptions.
always.
The girls
There
I
are
have
many.
now are exceptions.
There are many
right?
exceptions.
So what
but
I'm trying to say
generically.
is that it's becoming very difficult, because they just feel like, okay, we do a 2-3 month internship, open, make it big, done. I'm like, that's not the way it works. And you need your job, to work for 2-3 years before you start something. There are so many other good jobs available there, but you need to be persistent, patient. And I feel if you're starting your own brand, I think it's a lot, you're dealing a lot with clients. You can't be rude to them. You kind of also not let them take you for a ride. Like, there are a lot of customers, a lot of women, right? Let me say, men, men, very few are like that, where they want to take you for a ride. So how do you kind of work your way around that without letting it affect you? And so there's so many different things that you got to do, but take time and work elsewhere, and learn from somebody else's brand, right? Rather than doing it at your own, like losing money on your pay, right?
So when you work for someone else's brand, if you make mistakes, you're doing it at their expense. When you do it for yourself, it's out of your pocket. That's a lot of things that the new generation doesn't understand. I also feel you have to kind of be with the times. You have to know what's out there. I've noticed a lot of people just want to do what they want to do, but then they don't know what's going on in the industry. You have to be relevant. You need to do your market research. AI is suddenly a thing. You got to see with everything. You got to kind of keep updating yourself. Okay, now AI cannot be your only design process. You cannot just design on AI, for example, but use AI to improve your systems. When people are hiring, I've seen a lot of girls are just using AI we have a questionnaire. They just use AI. In spite of us saying, if you use AI, we'll reject your, because we're trying to kind of understand our candidates, right? But I just feel like Gen Z has gotten a bit lazy. And it just takes a little effort, a little bit of time, to kind of showcase who you are, versus just AI ChatGPTing your entire, answers to a questionnaire. What they don't realize is we're hiring people, not robots. So we have to kind of So I also feel like you got to just be with the times. I know a lot of designers who are like, oh, we don't believe in Instagram. Oh, what is this AI?
Yeah.
But you have to kind of be relevant and use every like portal or avenue coming your way to your advantage. You know, Instagram has done so much for us as a brand, or LinkedIn has done so much for us as a brand. Facebook has done so much for it as a brand, and each thing has its timeline. You know, like Facebook has died out now, but it did a lot for the growth of our brand back in the day.
Also, I feel there's a huge challenge because everyone who's a designer is generally creative. So when
Yeah.
it comes to the financial part of your business, most people are kind of clueless, and we've had to learn it the hard way. So I handle the finances, and what happens is I used to struggle.
Yeah.
So if I had that little exposure before I kind of probably started, I would have been better suited to kind of take things forward. So I had to learn everything the hard way. So kind of understand, like learn things, understand how things work. You know, because at the end of the day, when you first start, you are literally doing everything. You are the peon. You are the if the hand embroidery, the hand
Yeah.
finishing girl doesn't show up, I mean, a piece has to go out. You are doing that, so you are everything initially
Yeah.
before you have your team. So you kind of have to know everything, and you kind of have to be confident, and you kind of have to just make it work.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of be multifaceted. So if you don't have it in you to do that, I feel don't do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Sanjana and Nachal, I can't help but say that exactly what was on my mind. It felt like you're reading my mind, especially with this Gen Z part, and even the thing that you said, like as founders, when you start out, you really have to do it from the scratch. So there's
Absolutely.
no way, like I'm sitting on a chair and just ordering people. How people assume our journeys today, it doesn't happen that way.
Correct.
But yeah, thank you for speaking to Pop Diaries. I mean, today I am going away with a lot of learnings, and especially the way you both have carved your journeys. I have massive respect for you, because sometimes we just see the outside and we judge, and we think that, oh, it's all easy and it comes all handy, but it doesn't. And the way you guys spoke about your journey, I think many people will agree to that. So thank you for doing that, and thank you people for watching us on Pop Diaries. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and comment. Thank you.